From the ridiculous to the dramatic. There's a story for you here. The great Leon, he was a vaudevillian of the highest caliber. He was box office gold. He played all of the biggest venues all over the country, and he sold them out. He packed the houses. Critics said that of all of his contemporaries, men like Thurston and Blackstone and Dante and even the great Harry Houdini, that of all of these men, the great Leon was by far the most mesmerizing and the most interesting conjurer on the American stage. Well, Leon was not only a terrific performer, but he was an inventor as well. And this next piece was his last great invention. It was his last masterstroke, if you will, his last hurrah. It's called the Leon Pillory. Now, those of you who might have been to the Florida Psychiatric Museum might be familiar with something like this. These stocks baffled more magicians of the era than anything else. And then it vanished. Its secrets lost, its whereabouts unknown. For years, decades in fact, almost half a century, it was gone. And then a magician by the name of Les Arnold, who was actually the great Leon's grandson. Les Arnold found this prop and some memorabilia of his grandfather's. He dusted it off, and he sought out its secrets. Well, David's been passing out a couple of things to you in the audience. Check those out. There's some locks, some bolts, a wrench, normal items.
Ladies and gentlemen, what you see on the stage in front of you is a piece of history. As Lance mentioned, it dates back to the days of vaudeville. The great Leon Pillory. In order to make this much more effective, let's go ahead and take it out and let the folks see. I'm going to take the top off. There.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. You take that. And I'm going to take this.
Check this out. It's completely solid wood, unpainted, has some heavy-duty chain on it. Knock on that. There you are.
The simplicity of the Leon Pillory is what made what you're about to see
pulling the chain
so impossible. Bare naked wood. Of course, paint could hide a multitude of sins and indiscretions.
Just ask Tammy Faye Baker. You know, David says that joke is dated.
I think it's dated. You guys obviously are old.
I say, look at the hair of our audience. Well, that one kind of rolled.
I'm not sure whether we offended them. You know, several years ago, the great Leon, his grandson, carried on the tradition of performing magic. And Lance and I have been very, very fortunate to become very good friends with his grandson, who is now 70 years old. And his grandson actually took his grandfather's actual prop. Because he's a woodworker, he refabricated the same pillory that his grandfather used to fool so many people in the days of vaudeville and sent it to us as a gift, because some of you may know we have a magic theater in our home. So this is something we like to feature in our home. So we thought we would share it with you this evening. And Lance, I think at this point, in order to make this much more believable, we should get someone from the audience.
I think so. Go ahead.
Okay? All right, so let me come out here and find somebody that looks very trustworthy. And let me look.
Don't take too long.
I'm looking for someone who's extremely intelligent. I'm looking for someone who's very intelligent. Ma'am, are you with him tonight? You are? Yes. All right. Sir! Take your wife! I think you're the guy I'd like to take. What is your name?
Okay.
Ken? Ken, would you join me on stage? All right, let's give Ken a warm round of applause. Now, Ken, I'm going to ask that you step over to this side, right over here. Ken, I passed out a few objects. It's important that everybody understands that everything's examinable here. There's no trick. I would like, if you have a padlock, open or close it, and I've got a key. I passed out a key to you, and we can reopen it with your key. But make sure that if it's closed, it doesn't open again, okay? All right, Ken, would you do the honors of, let's make sure that's all the way up. Just lift the top of the pillory off the top. Very good. Lance is going to go down into the pillory. You'll notice his neck goes here, his wrists go here. There are wooden pins here that help line everything up. Be careful, don't pinch his wrists.
Too late.
Did we get you? All right, very good. Go ahead and close the hasp. I passed out a steel bolt. Does it look quite ordinary to you? It is, of course it is. All right, very good. Now, Ken, it's a bolt. The thing that made the pillory such a mystery is the variety of ways that it was secured. See, this bolt goes down all the way through this into the pillory, and it doesn't drop all the way through because there are actually threads on the bottom. See, I have to thread it down just like this. I also passed out a nut that goes onto this. Ken, would you do me the honors of retrieving that nut from that young gentleman over there? This all the way down. Ken, would you mind just go ahead and apply the nut to the bottom of the bolt, thereby securing this side of the pillory completely. You'll notice there's a little hole drilled at the bottom of the bolt. That finger tighten, we'll tighten it here in just a moment. I also passed a very small gold padlock. Did you lock it? Yes. You did, so we'll need you to unlock it with a small key. Would you do the honors, please? Because obviously it's not going to come unlocked without the key. Thank you very much. Ken, would you take this, hold on to the keys, and go ahead and put it through that hole at the bottom of the bolt, thereby making it impossible to remove the nut from the bottom of the bolt without first retrieving the key and inserting the key into the lock and removing the lock, which would obviously take a considerable amount of time. All right, this side over here, you've closed the hasp. We have another one of those padlocks I passed out. Did you close it? Pass it over to this young lady. Would you unlock that lock? Very good. Would you pass that padlock over to my friend Ken? Ken, would you go ahead and secure the hasp on that side? We have another lock somewhere in the audience. Who's got the other lock? Is it locked, sir?
Yes.
Would you do the honors of unlocking that lock as well? Very good. Thank you very much. Pass that over to Ken. Ken, here's what we're going to do. You'll notice there are a couple of chains that actually wrap all the way around like this. One like this. Go ahead and put the lock right there at the bottom of this one. And to make sure that just run it right, let's go there. Okay, lock that there. Very good. Are you satisfied that it's pretty darn secure? We've got a bolt that's locked in place here, a hasp that's locked with chains on this side, and just to make sure, you just thumb tightened that. I'm going to give this a good tighten. There. All right, very good. You got the keys? Yes? Hold on to those. We may need these in just a moment. Now, Ken, I have one more job for you. I have a couple of stickers here. Would you simply do the honors of writing your name or signing or putting some mark on each of those stickers? Kenneth.
Credit card works.
Credit card. Okay, so you have Kenneth and KWS. I assume that's your initials, right, Kenneth? All right, what does the W stand for? I'm just curious. William. Secure that right there to make sure that the stalks do not separate. And we'll take the KWS. We'll do the same thing right over here. Just like that. Okay? Fair? Could it get any fairer than that? Kenneth, I have a job for you. Before we get started, I want you to check the locks. Make sure the locks aren't absolutely secure. Yes, every lock is secure. Everything's completely fair. Everything's been completely examined. Escape would be impossible. Would you agree? That's exactly what Houdini said when he saw the great Leon perform this so many, many years ago. Ken, I would like you to take your side of the circle of cloth right there. Lift it all the way up, just like that, and hold it for just a moment. We're going to give Lance 10 seconds to see if he can escape. I'd like you to count from 10 back to 0 with me together. Here we go. 10, 9, 8, 2 seconds. Go ahead, check it out. Have a watch your door. The label's still in place. Everything just as it was. Ladies and gentlemen, the great Leon Pillory escaped. Lance Smith,